Greetings, fellow book enthusiasts. Welcome back to Timeless Tales and Thoughts. Book number 9 of the year is in the books, and I am excited to share with you today. I just finished The Burma Road by Donovan Webster. This is the epic story of the China-Burma India theater in World War II. I picked this one up back in April when I did the Lakeland book crawl at one of the local bookstores that was part of the crawl. It escapes my memory right now which bookstore I picked it up at. However, when I saw this book, it just kind of called to me. There is family history here. My grandfather was actually part of the CBI theater of operations. He was a mechanic on the planes that were bringing fuel over the hump or the Himalayas. And if you know anything about the history of that area in World War II, you would know that flying the hump was very dangerous. This book mostly focused on what was happening with the ground troops, going through the jungles and the illnesses that they faced and the struggles that they faced just to keep China going in the war. There is some mention and some sources from pilots who flew the hump. So it does give you a little bit of information as to really how dangerous flying over the Himalayas were. And it just really put this whole theater of operations into perspective. This is an area of World War II that I was not that familiar with, especially considering the history. And my grandfather never talked about it. War was not something you talked about, especially not with women. And reading this story gave me a better understanding of why he felt that way, because this was a tough book for me to get through. They went through a lot. It was hard for me to describe, but it was challenging times that it was difficult on all ranges. Not only were they battling the Japanese, constantly throwing fire at them, they were dealing with diseases such as dysentery, malaria, yellow fever. They were low on supplies. They worked with very little. Any supplies that they got had to be airdropped to them, and sometimes that didn't work out the best. It sometimes got caught in the air and floated across enemy lines, according to the story. So this was a rather interesting read for me. It took me a while to get through it because of the intensity. Donovan Webster did an incredible job researching this story and really, truly bringing to life what happened and how these soldiers somehow managed to get the job done. If you are interested in World War II history, if that's your thing, I highly recommend the story. If you never heard of the CBI theater, China-Burma India, and you're curious, I highly recommend reading this story. The main goal for the CBI theater in World War II was to keep China in the war against Japan. And I, before reading this story, didn't really know how much that truly entailed. And I'm just going to read for you the description off the back of the book. As Imperial Japanese Army swept across China and South Asia at World War II's outset, closing all of China's seaports. More than 200,000 Chinese laborers embarked on a seemingly impossible task: to cut a 700-mile overland route, the Burma Road, from the southwest Chinese city of Kunming to Lasio, Burma. But when Burma fell in 1942, the Burma Road was severed. As the first step of the Allied offensive toward Japan, American General Joseph Stilwell reopened it, while at the same time keeping China supplied by airlift from India and simultaneously driving the Japanese out of Burma. From the breathtaking adventures of the American hump pilots who flew hair-raising missions over the Himalayas to make food drops in China, to the true story of the mission that inspired the famous film The Bridge on the River Kwai, to the grueling jungle operations of Merrill's Marauders and the British Chindit Brigades, the Burma Road vividly recreates the sprawling, sometimes hilarious, often harrowing, and still largely unknown stories of one of the greatest chapters of World War II. The Burma Road. Very interesting for anyone who wants to learn more about this period of time, about this particular theater of the war. For me, it was very enlightening, and I will probably keep this book in my collection because of what it means. And as I said, personally, it gave me a lot more insight and understanding. So I hope you are having a great day, and please take a moment, like, subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying my videos, and happy reading.